Beth, what was your favorite part?
I think my favorite part was when we're hiking up Arethusa trails, and this little chipmunk comes out of nowhere, and it's just lurking in the shadows, and I open the Checkmate bag, and it bolts over. It runs as fast as it knew what was happening. It was classically conditioned, and I reached in and I got the longest little piece of food I could find, and I handed it right to this little chipmunk, and he shoved it way in his little pouch.
His mouth cheek stuck out just like the piece of Chex.
It didn't even fit all the way in his mouth.
You made his day.
Sticking out. It just took off.
And he followed us, trying to look at us.
I know.
When me and Allie came back around, he was right there.
I had picked up some trash on the road, and I set it down, and he was rummaging through it. He was trying to find any food in the trash.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Dad, what about you?
A memorable moment that I don't want to forget is when we were on the ATVs and we were going through down the old rail. What he eventually told us was the old railroad track.
Did it make it?
It made it.
Was it a squirrel?
It was a chipmunk that ran
Aw.
across.
The chipmunk
Yeah,
is
so a memorable moment for me was when we were driving the ATVs, pretty high speed, down the railroad track path, and it was cut out in the stone, so you had these walls on either side, and the light was coming through the trees, and Mom was sitting behind me just rubbing my back, and we were driving. Temperature was perfect, and we're just driving down this path on the ATVs, and Allie's up in front of us, and I can see her kind of zoom in on her ATV, and I knew everybody was having a good time, and that was a special moment.
Yeah, I love the ATVs so
Yeah, the
much.
ATVs were really, really cool.
We just went so fast. 41 miles an hour. That's so fast.
I only got up to 35, so if you guys got to 41, you were moving.
That speedometer never worked.
Yeah, my speedometer didn't work, so it was 0 the whole
She was
time.
kicking it, though. She was kicking it with us.
Yeah,
You were
it was
fast.
just cool.
I was trying to get higher and higher every time, and then I was like, wait, this might be a little bit dangerous.
I never reached max speed. I tried so hard to hold the throttle down, and I just kept going faster.
Oh, those would go 50 or 60 miles an hour. And they are, yeah, that is dangerous,
I
obviously.
wonder how fast I went up to, because I never looked at it, but I would hold the throttle down.
Probably got up to 40.
I would
No, I was
send
really pushing to get to 40.
I see. When we were behind Grace just starts flying up this mountain, but she's standing and flopping around, and she's just trying to go up this mountain. She's like,
I was just letting, you know how you can either tighten your core or just let yourself flop around?
Yeah.
I chose the latter.
One of my other favorite parts was when me and Auntie really didn't know what was happening. We were still trying to get our bearings on this, and Auntie's on the back of mine, and I'm trying to drive it, and her feet are just dangling. She doesn't have any foot support. Her legs aren't long enough to reach the ground, and so she's just kind of sitting there, and I hit this bump, and I didn't realize that the bump was going to launch us both into the air, and Auntie comes flying forward. She's like, wait, I need to get back. And so she gets back.
She hits the next
Yep.
bump.
And then we hit the next bump at the same speed. It takes me
Pushes me back. Oh my
it takes me 4 times going over these ginormous bumps to realize I probably should slow down.
We had to come up with
So
a solution.
I
But
saw
we
the
were
back.
laughing
I saw
so
the back
hard.
profile, and I was I was laughing so hard because I was thinking of how hard Auntie was laughing, and that was making me laugh.
We were laughing so hard.
Because her head was like,
I know.
Mom, what was your favorite part?
I'd say one of my favorite parts of the trip was the 5 minutes of silence that we took along the way. So we had the 5 minutes of silence at the top of Dora Mountain.
Yes.
We had the 5 minutes of silence on the top of Cadillac Mountain.
On the rafts.
We had the 5 minutes of silence on the river.
Kayaks. Oh.
And
yeah,
in the kayaks and the Jones Pond. And it was all these moments that we stopped and took 5 minutes to just appreciate where we were, and just, it's really memorable.
Yeah,
I love those 5 minutes of silence.
Every time that we took the 5 minutes, I would use the method where it's like, what do I hear? What do I smell? What do I taste? What do I feel? And then that really locks in the memories for me.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Allie, what was yours?
One of my favorite moments was when we were tubing and we were just all laughing so hard. And we were like one whole thing. So we were moving as one.
We were one unit.
Yeah.
All interlocked with our legs
And someone would
Like
let go of me and I'd freak out and try and get back. But this wasn't really my favorite part, but it was my favorite, but it was like hilarious but also terrifying when I was just walking and all my feet just sunk into this deep nothingness. And I jumped up so fast
abyss.
and crawled on.
Dude, it's so funny because you can see the white on the ground and then you just see black. And I'm like, okay, so she's getting pretty close to the black. And then boom.
It got deep fast.
That was so scary.
The look in your eyes.
That was almost going to be my favorite memory. I had that
couldn't
locked
stop
in.
laughing.
Just watching Allie walk with her raft and her stick, and then all of a sudden Allie just drops. She drops the stick, the look of terror in her eyes, and she starts laughing.
My worst fears have just been realized.
Oh my god.
That's so funny. All right, Auntie.
Laughing and
I
crying.
think one of my favorites was again that rafting trip. I think we laughed so hard.
I have never laughed
The
harder.
rain is coming down. We're soaking wet. We just don't care. Lazy river, all connected, which just was so much fun, and the adventure of the whole thing.
Yeah, like sprinting before to get ponchos.
Thinking that we missed the bus, but they're like, oh, it's just 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
No, and Dad, we're coming up on some rapids, and Dad's like, okay, guys, we all need to break up for these rapids. And me, Mom, and Auntie, and Allie were like, no, it'll be okay.
Did you
And
stay together through the rapids?
you were like, stay to the right, stay to the right. And we started drifting to the left, and we're just like, we couldn't get ourselves back. That was funny. It was so funny because I was still
bouncing around.
I was still part of the group, but when I found that black flip flop, I'm like, bye y'all. I broke off and I used my black flip flop to paddle me all the way.
Black flip-flop.
It was a great paddle.
It was, and I made it to shore, but the confidence that I needed to acquire, that I needed to get to the rapids by myself, that was game changer.
The rapids were a lot of fun at the very end because there's just a little bit of excitement, but then you knew you needed to get to the right to get out, so it's like I'm all the way on the one side. Yeah, that was fun. That was a great trip.
And also the card games. I think the card games
my
at
gosh,
night.
yes.
Yeah.
Laughing
And
so
our
hard.
continuation of who's gonna win.
And also, oh hell no.
Yes.
Oh, also playing Monopoly.
The trip. Yes.
Oh my god.
I have two favorites because I can't decide. Oh, I forget my. Oh, yes. Okay. One of my favorites was the first second that we entered that main house, and I just found this rock, and it was calling my name. And I just lay on this rock, and I've never seen like that landscape before. Like I've always seen beach and ocean, and then mountains and stuff. But to be on a house by the rocks with the ocean and the trees, it was so beautiful. And I just sat on that rock and just listened and heard the waves crash, and it was just so awesome.
We were out there for a while.
Yeah.
Was I really?
Yeah.
I kind of.
Laid out there.
I was like,
Beautiful.
where am I gonna put my house when I move here? Where am I gonna do this? How am I gonna get a job here? But also my second one was when we were on the kayaks, and me and Beth did not want to check out that plane thing. We were so tired, and we were like, I can't paddle anymore. And Beth was like, can I just lay back? I'm like, okay, sure, because I broke her chair.
The chair just completely snapped off.
So she had no back support, so she just laid all the way back, and she fell asleep, and we were just listening to music, and I was just like, wow, this is so cool.
That was really nice. One of the times on this trip that I laughed the hardest was when me, Mom, Dad, and Dee were we're sitting out by the rocks. And I look over and I see this just dead slug thing floating in the water. I'm like, oh my gosh, a slug, it's in the water. And I pick it up and it's just a piece of sea kelp. And I was like, oh, it's just kelp. And then we're like, oh, it really does look like a slug. And then who found the shell?
I had the shell, I think.
Someone was like,
Yeah.
look, I found a shell. We can stick it in there and then pretend it's a real snail. And so Dad's like shoved it in there and he's like pushing it further and further in. And he went to pull it out to readjust it because it wouldn't go in. In this just black, I don't even know what it was, slug, spider, it doesn't matter what it was, just came jumping out after Dad.
Oh my
Felt so
god.
aggressive.
It was so quick.
It was like Angry Gary.
So angry.
He's like, why are you bugging me?
Dad screamed and just launched both the fake slug and this.
So startled me.
It really. We were so concentrated.
I mean, you don't expect the
no.
slug to move fast. This
How?
guy came out
Oh
like,
yeah,
heck no.
that was the last thing I
Why
expected.
are you jamming
That's
on
funny.
It was really, really funny.
Oh my gosh.
And we looked in there. We're like, no, there's nothing in here. We like just looked right straight at it.
I think one thing in the beginning of the trip, and then you stopped doing it because you got your nails done, but was you playing 9 to 5 on your nails?
Working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living.
Now it puts marks on when you did it. So.
I know, now they're a little scratched up.
That was fun.
Oh my gosh, the memes made me laugh too.
Oh,
When we took that photo of me, that mean mugging photo,
Yes.
and we all made memes.
Oh my gosh. When we were all sitting in the car singing Bohemian Rhapsody and Grace had no clue.
I was like, how do you know this, Beth? And she's just like singing the song. First I was afraid I was picture. How does
No.
it go? It was like,
I don't know. It makes you feel better, Grace. I don't really know that song either. It wasn't part of my childhood or youth experience.
yeah, I noticed you weren't singing, but I didn't know if that was like a, I don't want to do this, or if that was
I
a,
don't know it.
I
It's in my genre, so I didn't know it.
I don't remember
I was so confused how Allie and Beth knew it. I'm like,
I don't.
It
It's
is
because
very popular within certain
yeah.
Right.
threads or circles of friends.
I guess it's kind of like the
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
I laughed was it playing worst case scenario.
Oh my gosh.
And just reading those things and how upset Grace was getting, like, this is so ridiculous. But they were just hilarious.
So
about-
illogical.
Yeah, just about how to move into someone's, how to occupy an office space that doesn't belong to you.
how to
or-
eat a rat.
Yeah.
It made me so angry because there's points involved and coins and limbs that you can't lose. And you really think hard at what the answer is, and you know it's some guy that just makes his own answers.
Yeah.
You could tell they were struggling to find questions to ask.
It was
They had to
so,
make a whole game out of it.
Yeah.
it was hilarious.
You know what would be funny? Is if the last card, the question is, did you really think any of this was true? And then the yes is bold. I know some of these answers I'm like putting in the back of my head for when I ever have to, survive an avalanche. Do I swim or do I roll?
Like if you're in a mudslide, do you walk horizontally or do you walk perpendicularly?
One of the questions is how do you make $1 million? You make a game full of nonsense.
Yeah. That'd be funny. All right. Do you have any other memories that we'd like to
Well,
remember?
I really feel like I'm a fairly well composed person that doesn't get rattled. But driving up the Mount Washington Auto Road really bothered me. I am confident that at least once a week some car is falling off of this mountain. It was so sketchy, particularly the quote-unquote gravel section where all four wheels of this car were slipping. It was so uncool.
Are you sure they were slipping? Because I
They
was
were
just...
slipping. The pop, pop, pop was the car. It was the wheels grabbing. I mean, one of the problems was that we were at a 8% grade, so it's a high, and I have this gauge meter right in front of me on the dash, and the car's like 10,000 pounds, full of 6 people. It's so heavy. It's called gravity. It's a problem when you're on the side of a mountain. It just, the whole scenario is going through my mind of it starting to slip and me not being able to stop it from slipping. I did not like that.
We pulled off on the outskirts to go look at some views, and I can see the panic in Dad's eyes. He is not having a good time, and I'm like, "Hey, Dad, are you okay? Are you doing good?" Or Allie said, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing great. I'm just enjoying the view."
I said to myself, I'm gonna lie through my teeth because I didn't want anybody else to be worried. I wanted to take the cog train down and leave the car. Hertz can come back and get it themselves.
That's
It's
yeah.
on
When
me.
we were up there,
It's
you
on top
were
of
like,
Mount Washington.
we can just take the train down.
And Dad, while you're freaking out, I take the GoPro and I'm just sticking my head out the window, trying to get a good shot.
I saw that video, that part, and then looking over the edge, I'm like, oh, it wasn't too bad. I mean, we definitely would die if we fell off.
And then we found out that the deaths are really uncommon.
Only 3 people in 150 years.
That's
which is
insane.
amazing. And 60,000 cars a year go up the road.
Oh, I'm sure they get banged up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Or severely injured or something.
Halfway through, I just couldn't handle it myself anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting really freaked out as well. I just sat in the back, put my headphones on, and just started watching TV. I was like,
Zone out.
get me out of this. I'm not here anymore.
I just remember we were in a safe zone and Dad's like, okay guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, that I was terrified. I was like, since when?
That messed me up. And
Not
I
good,
guess
not
that's
good.
my fear, is like falling off the side of a mountain in a car. It's a
Yeah.
good fear to have.
Full of your family.
I wouldn't say that's a
Yeah.
big fear.
I was
What a
too
great
far in
trip.
the back. I couldn't jump out.
I really enjoyed having in the first week with Megan and Lisa the code names.
Oh
and,
my God.
The walkie-talkies and
Love
just
those radios.
What was it? Dad was Freedom One.
Freedom One.
Yeah.
Mom,
I was sassafras.
Sassafras.
I was Tripsy.
Beth is Bear Claw.
Auntie was Extra.
Extra.
And I was Amazon. But the thing is, there's stories for everyone. Oh wait,
And
Megan and Lisa. Megan
Lisa was Little Crayon,
Little
and
crazy.
then
Megan
Megan
was
was
Cece.
Cece.
which was counterclockwise.
Her hair
because
goes in
goes in a counterclockwise
her hair goes in a
swirl.
counterclockwise.
And just someone on the plane just had to point it out to her.
That's so.
That is random. It's-
Yeah.
why are you staring at the back of my head?
Why were you? Oh yeah, Dad was Freedom One because that was our plane.
We flew on the Southwest Airlines Freedom One, which was, I'd been tracking it for a few weeks after I saw it, and then there we are on it.
Yeah.
It was total fangirl. Dad's like, guess
Yeah.
what, guys? Guess what? We're on the Freedom One airplane. It's painted like a United States
American
flag. And I was like, really?
The people behind us are like. What?
What?
Nobody
What is
cared.
it? What is
The
it?
flight crew didn't
Explain.
even care.
I know.
I asked the flight attendant because I just thought, this must not be a big deal because nobody's excited as I am. I'm like, are there more than one? She's like, no, this is the only one. I'm like, okay.
Okay, good to know that you're not freaking out right now.
That's how we started
But
the
you were
trip.
like you were driving on a presidential plane or something.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, Freedom One.
Or the American flag streaking across the skies.
I know. And
Why was
we're-
Mom sassafras?
I was
Sassy.
sassafras because I was sassy.
Ah.
the people behind us in line were like, why are you taking a picture of the plane? What's so... They could tell we were excited about something. They're like, what's so special?
We were like, it's planted like an American
This is the
flag.
only one in the whole country.
They're like, oh.
In the
Okay.
whole
okay.
entire world.
One of the things that I love about these trips is that we put effort into kind of picking out where we're going to go and what the activities are, but you never know how it's going to unfold.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to be fun, what's going to not, be a bomb, or where we're going to find moments of togetherness or
never-
connected. You just don't know until you do it.
You never know that a moderate hike is going to be a massive,
Oh my
intense hike up the
God.
side of a mountain.
You lied to me. That's
You never know that
smart.
Flume Gorge is going to be totally flat out and back,
yeah.
and it's actually about
And you're
500
walking
feet
up,
of elevation.
57 stairs on the side of the mountain with the water falling and the steps are slick as snot.
That
I'm
was
like,
beautiful.
oh great.
You never
We
know
did
that
get-
cider
we got-
donuts taste like
As we
nothing.
were talking about
Yeah.
the trip in Maine and New Hampshire, we had multiple people suggest things to do. Like we had a business partner of ours suggest some things, and then Lori Alders suggested Flume Gorge. It was just because people have been here, so they know some really great things.
Who suggested that sunset tour?
The sunset tour.
Feather Lady.
Yeah.
Feather Lady.
It was just something that I had read when I was reading of like the 10 things to do if you're in Bar Harbor.
Yeah.
It was one of the things. I watched 2 YouTube compilations of people who had been in this area and hikes they had done, and the things that they did, and that they skipped this, do that, and then I put my list together, and almost a few of the hikes we didn't do, but almost everything else we did. We saw. But you know, the surprise was how beautiful Shudik Island was on its own, and I didn't really I knew Acadia went across 2 different areas, the Mount Desert Island and Shudik Island, but Shudik was slower pace, fewer crowds, and just intense beauty. It was just
You
amazing.
made me forget about the bikes and
The
lunch
bike
on
ride.
that rock.
Ah,
That was a moment where I was like, do I really live in this country?
And wild blueberry picking.
Oh
the
my
wild blueberries,
goodness.
the
every
blueberries.
turn you could just like
The blubbery.
lean over and get
Yes.
blueberries. But yesterday,
Handfuls.
the raspberries
Oh
on
my
that Bear
gosh.
Hill,
They were
So sweet.
they were like the best raspberries I had had.
They were more sweet than packaged.
They were amazing.
Oh, remember
No
getting
wonder the bear likes being
I
on that
know.
hill.
Remember getting off that hike and we were sitting there picking blueberries and Beth steps over Mom and gets her foot caught in the backpack and tears them both to the
That was
ground.
hilarious.
That
She had
was
no
so
control.
funny.
She was going over.
Right into the ground, and my foot came up, and I just stayed there.
Oh my gosh.
We had
so many.
The spider ran across her armpit. He scared him out of his own
I don't
home.
want to think about that.
I had many like very relaxing moments in the hammock that I got for my birthday, tied between those trees, looking out over the bay into the Atlantic Ocean at the coast of
The
Maine.
campfires.
We had the greatest fires.
Yeah, that
Seeing
campfire
that
was so
porpoise.
nice.
The
Yeah.
campfires and conversations. And the games. I was so here for the games.
I'm surprised barely seeing a whale tail didn't make our list.
That was so funny. That was so funny.
And all
Well,
the
what
sick
would've
people on
made
the
my list, or one of my, was just being on the boat ride and just curling up together and
Yes.
just
Oh,
all
yeah.
laying on each other to stay
hearing
warm.
several kids bombing
There
around
were
you.
so many people sick.
Yeah.
But none of us got sick.
No,
And none
I
of
was
us
close to it. I was
No,
pretty.
we did
looking a little
good.
green.
No, I gave her half a Dramamine. That's
Everyone
probably
got a
what
piece of
saved her.
Dramamine.
I was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
fragile.
Extra had extra.
And the
I
guy,
have that Dramamine bottle if you want it back.
the guy gave us free hot chocolate because it wasn't working when we went down there the first time. So we came back and he's like, "It's on the house."
It was pretty. I was like, we really have to go all the way back. And then I was like, conked out, woke up, we're there.
Yeah.
How about running, almost missing the sunset
Oh,
cruise when
my
my back was
goodness.
tweaking?
Oh my
I illegally parked in front of somebody's house. Oh,
That was a mess. Me, Lisa, and Allie were like, oh, he didn't make it. I was like, I don't even want to be here. And then all we hear over the intercom is, come on, 2 last people,
Take your seat.
take your seats. And then I look at Lisa and I'm like, you think that's really them? And she looks at Megan and Megan's like, yep. And we're like, yay.
I remember me and Auntie are sitting. We can see Mom and Dad behind the little velvet rope,
oh.
and we're just waving. We're like, bye.
We can still make it.
I'll see you later.
Oh my gosh, the guy with the guitar.
Oh my guitar man.
Oh, he was so funny.
He's a silent walker.
Yeah, you're just having a
appears behind
conversation.
you.
Someone pushes you to the left, and all you hear is.
Yeah, it's like
West Virginia.
that. What was it? It's like the.
And A, we saw no sunset because it was cloudy. And B, we got back before sunset even occurred.
Yeah. Sunset was like at 8:17
Like
or
10
something.
minutes
Oh.
later.
That was probably the most overrated
So.
We made everything fun.
Me,
And we
Grace,
saw
and-
Feather Lady.
Me, Grace, and Lisa all got up and started hoisting
Oh,
this
yeah.
sail together. Yeah.
That was cool. She got a video of that. I got some too.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
surprised that that we didn't, because I'm not eating lobster, but that you guys didn't have more lobster rolls. We did one steamed lobster bake.
I ate 3 lobster rolls, which I felt like I
That was your
had
quota.
enough. Yeah.
After someone handed me an entire whole lobster and
Yeah.
said, "Eat this," I was like, I never want to see another lobster again in my life.
That wasn't all what it's cracked up to be.
No.
Frankly, I think that lobster tastes like nothing.
I do love the taste of lobster, but please pick it for me. I'm
Oh
not-
my
Prefer to
gosh.
see it cracked on your plate in a nice restaurant with butter.
What was that really nice restaurant that we sat at in Bahaba, and it was like,
Yeah, where we sat upstairs.
yeah, do you remember what it was called?
I don't, but it was on the corner. It was really open and airy.
Yeah.
Or the wrinkled pickle.
The pickled
Pickled
wrinkle.
wrinkle.
The pickled wrinkle.
And the
Pickled
ice
wrinkle
cream
pickle,
shop.
but it was pickled
That
wrinkle.
is cute. That ice cream shop. We went
Would you
there every day.
would you like a red dog or would you like a brown dog? What's the difference? Okay, you get the brown dog.
Yeah, you don't know.
The color.
Same.
Duh. Like,
She's like, oh, you're not from around here,
And
are you?
then blueberry ice cream, blueberry soft serve, blueberry everything.
Blueberry soda.
Blueberry everything in Maine.
Champagne. I got blueberry champagne. It was terrible.
It
And
was
then
horrible.
maple everything in New Hampshire and Vermont.
Maple.
Yeah, I
Cotton
felt like I was
candy.
Walking out of Canada.
Candle.
Oh, and when
pronounced Canada.
this morning, when Grace was like, "Are we going to Dunkin'? Are we going to Dunkin'?"
No, we don't talk about that.
It's too fresh.
Too soon.
Mom, do you have an earring borrow?
Well, that was awesome.
Yeah. There's so many more little things that I don't want to forget, but
Yeah.
that's just how life goes.
Just a tidbit.
You experienced it. You lived it. You were in the moment. We were together.
Oh,
It was.
we
I'm
did
sure if Megan
see.
and Lisa were here, they'd have tons more.
Oh my
stories.
gosh.
We did see. Me and Dad saw a black bear. Not the same black bear. Two different black bear.
I saw a black bear with Lisa.
We saw a baby moose.
Black bear. We saw
Beth
moose.
saw
baby
a
moose.
bear, and then we saw a baby
I-
moose this morning.
It was the most underrated thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
The bear?
Yeah.
I just saw a cat.
I was sitting there and I was thinking, how. I was like, shouldn't it be special that I saw this bear? It should be so. It was. I just saw a black blob run around into the.
By.
It was too far away for me to distinguish any features. And so I was like, well, I saw a bear, but at what cost?
And our day trip to Vermont
That
was really fantastic. And turning around for the taco truck
Oh
at the
my
end of the
gosh.
day. I'm like, I'm turning around. We just saw a taco truck in the middle of nowhere. And it was great.
After the second
take it.
stop, we start realizing that the only thing we will be doing today is eating.
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh. We just start laughing. And we were
That's-
just like, okay, where is the next place we're gonna go eat
At the
food?
end of that trip.
I know.
Emily suggested all of those places, and I texted her like halfway between it. I'm like, Emily, it's only like 5 minutes between each place, and we're eating everywhere we go. She's like, you just save it, take it home.
She's like, you do know you don't have to eat it right then,
I'm
right?
like, I know you guys got this.
We started with that crepe place. What was it called?
That's what our
Skinny
problem
pancakes.
was.
Skinny
We
pancakes.
ate too much at breakfast.
We ate too many skinny pancakes.
We should have had one breakfast.
And then we went straight to
Hey guys, we had 2 orders of fries for breakfast.
And we
That's
ordered
true.
an
Pretty much tells you how this
extra.
trip
We
went.
ordered an extra breakfast.
Did we do the donuts right after that?
We got the donuts soon after that.
I thought.
And then Ben and
we
Jerry's.
went to the bakery.
And then
Oh no.
All the way to Lake Champlain.
oh, and then you also heard those guys.
that. Wait, go ahead.
You heard those guys play that, or who was it? Because I wasn't there to watch.
Oh, the hen.
One
Oh, yeah, the
of my
Vermont
Red
Bluegrass.
Yes.
favorite memories
Mm.
was when
I know what you're gonna say.
Dad and Auntie got on this seesaw. And we're going back and forth. I was laughing
Oh my god.
so hard. Or Mom got on it. That seesaw was
You
so
videoed-
funny.
you
Oh
guys
yeah, we
didn't
did.
tell me
we
that would
did.
launch me. And so
I
Beth
launched
got off
me.
and I got on.
Jesus.
Grace flung me in the air, and that half to death terrified me.
In most states,
Oh my
those
God.
things are outlawed.
Really?
Yes.
I see why.
You seriously could get hurt if somebody got off.
Seesaws, they're taking them all out. Trust me, busted up teeth, Dolores has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we grew up, seesaws were a real thing. Now you get stand-up ones that are just as fun.
Yeah,
But that was a great
worse.
day.
That was so much fun.
It was our Vermont day. We just spent a day, went into Vermont, all the way across to Lake Champlain and back.
I just want to say Champagne's so bad.
Yeah.
Champlain sounds
Put an L in
so
there.
sad.
It's not a drink, it's a place.
This whole vacation
What
was
about the
fun.
taco truck?
That's a real place.
Yeah.
Yeah, the taco truck.
Oh, the best tacos.
It's because we were starving.
How could we be starving after it? Well, we actually were hungry by the
I
end.
was
of
so
it.
hungry.
What was so funny was finding like all these random bags of candy, like the Zods and the
Yeah, every
Jawbusters.
place you went, that same candy company had a display.
And it wasn't like a traditional box of candy, it was like little baggies.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me of the train and like that area. It was called like Jacob's Ladder,
Yeah.
where you can just lay back and you don't move. You're straight,
And
but
we
you're
were
not.
all standing up and like leaning.
You're at a 45-degree angle going up this mountain.
Oh
Yes.
gosh.
Cog train.
Mm-mm. It was fun.
It's been fun. It's been real.
Real fun. Now let's all howl.
Okay, to end it, we're gonna howl, Mom.
Why
Just
howl?
for you.
We should make a moose sound.
What does a moose say? Do not ever. Oh hell no! Don't ever do that again. No.
All right,
You
let's-
asked for it.
How?
Bye.